symbol.
Justin Timberlake is a Native American. That nigga would have said no. Justin Timberlake is white. James Brown and Chuck Berry were black men, because he's carnal. Get that in Romans chapter 8 about the carnal man. He's carnal. He's not spiritual. See, this whole thing is spiritual, okay? And how's it spiritual? This is the spirit, the scriptures, all right? And it gives you the characteristics of each particular tribe. Because even though we do similar things, or we might have some similar features, all right, amongst ourselves, but it's certain what is it? Help me out. Traits that the Lord gave each particular tribe to make them particular, that you can discern. Okay, this is guys from Judah. This guy's from Levi. This is Gadite. This is a Simeonite right here. Read this.
8 and 13.
Yeah.
Romans chapter 8, verse 13.
Where it talk about the carnal man can't receive these things. Or the man that's in the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. I'm tired of you.
It's bro, I got it. Romans chapter 8, verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Yep.
Because the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High.
He's against the Most High. Here it is, we explain it to him, or trying to, but I already knew he wasn't gonna get it, because he's got the naked face, starting to let the 5 o'clock grow back in. Okay, he had this souped up proud look on his face. He asks one question, we about to explain it, he hops to another thing. Meaning he wasn't really up here to learn, he was just up here to make mockery. I'm gonna claim her for the kingdom, all right? And that's all he wanted to do, to mock us. Oh look, it's two simple looking niggas up here yelling on the streets, being loud and stuff. Let me go and entertain these guys, see what they talking about. And maybe drop a few knowledge on them, you know. Because he's a clown, man. He's carnal, okay? Read that.
Because the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High.
Yeah.
For it is not subject unto the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be.
He wasn't, if we got on him about his beard. I was like, well, if you was a smart, intelligent man, you have a beard on your face. He got offended right there. Because he actually looked simple. He looked like a big-ass child with no facial hair on his face, man. Then he couldn't understand that Obama is not of our people. I said, Obama don't have flavor. What's that? You should know what that is. He might be a damn, nah, he probably one of these super duper Hellenized niggas. You know. Then he come up, the first thing he come up is talking about you have to have some whiting. Which that's just an old demon we used to combat all the time when we came up here in Charlotte. That's how I know that dude wasn't right, man. I can tell. No, nigga, you can't tell. Because if I told you Lauren London is not actually a black woman, she's actually a so-called Jewish woman, an Amalekite, she a white woman, you will argue me down. It doesn't matter if she played in movies where she stars as a black woman. She's not a black woman, or a so-called black woman. Because you're carnal. Get that in 1 Corinthians chapter 2 about spiritual man. Hell, we would have told him Leonardo DiCaprio is a black man. John Travolta is a black man. Robert De Niro is a black man. He would have flipped out, man. Because he's carnal. Okay? I think it's like 2 and 12. About the carnal man?
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High. For they are foolishness unto him.
Yeah, he thought we was some clowns up here, man. Oh, you niggas are some clowns. He wouldn't say simple. silly. You call me a silly Negro. No, I called you a simple ass nigga. It's a difference. Okay. All right. Read that again.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High. For they are foolishness unto him.
It's foolishness unto him for somebody with a darker complexion to not be a Negro or of Negro descent. That he couldn't be a Native American or a Latino. Because you do have plenty of these Latinos that's darker than myself. For example, Cameron Diaz, her father was a so-called Mexican. He was darker than me. I met a Issacharite that was darker than me.
Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned.
And the tribes, the breakdown of the tribes is all spiritual, okay? Understanding that the Negroes here in America and them Africans over there, and over there, Obama's people, that we have two different mannerisms and spirits, that's spiritual. So you can't be carnal. Because one, if you being carnal, then that makes you an enemy of God, because enmity means an enemy. What we saying to you is going to be foolishness. And the Lord, he's not going to deal with you. And the Lord told you not to judge according to appearance, man, but to judge righteous judgment. Okay? Alright. So, you know, we can go back into what we was getting. Unless you want to bring something out or you want to say something, man. Just Jake need to be more spiritual, man. You know, you gotta understand the mannerisms of, get that in Exodus 11 and 7 about how we different from the so-called Africans, man. Okay.
Exodus chapter 11 verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that they may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
The Egyptians and Israel, okay? One dark nation between another dark nation. The Lord made a difference. So just to say somebody's black, or think they're black because they have or they have a lot of melanin in their skin, doesn't mean that they're the same people. Okay? Because like I told them, you got East Indians that's darker than us, man. East Indians are dark. Some Chinese is dark. Some of them Japhites is hella dark. Especially them Aborigines of Australia, they're dark as hell. Okay, you got them Africans. You got them Arabs. Them Arabs is dark as hell. So you just can't say, oh, he's a black man, so we're all of us is the same. That's like with the children of light. You call one of them, you say, hey man, you Chinese. It's like, I'm not Chinese, I'm Korean. Or you say, oh man, you gotta be Japanese. They like, I'm not Japanese, I'm this.
Asian.
I'm Asian. And they get offended, right? So wouldn't you get offended if somebody calling you something outside of what you are? Simple ass nigga. Get that in Daniel's about confusion of faces, and then we'll hop back in the topic. Okay? Because it's still kind of cold out here, probably from that storm up front. We getting a lot of that cold front down this way in the Carolinas, but we ain't getting snow. Daniel's 9. Start at verse 6. Read down to 8.
Daniel chapter 9 verse 6. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in the name of our kings, our princes, and our fathers, to all the people of the land.
And that's the same here today. That's why we're in the state we're in now, because in the past, children of Israel didn't want to hear the prophets. Hell, they didn't even want to hear the Lord. They gave the Lord over to be crucified, okay, to fulfill prophecy. But even when the Lord went to preach to his own people, they try to push him off the top of the cliff. You can read that in Luke chapter 4. They try to stone him. And Luke chapter 8, when he called them the devil, that's right, the Lord called his own people the devil. He said, you of your father the devil. And they was ready to stone him. This man talking about he got offended, man. The Lord